good start as well from pole position. And he's going to take the lead into turn one. Lyra having to defend against Alex as well. So, very bad start from Lyra, and Stephen already has a huge lead. They go up ahead.
Now?
2 seconds already they go into the hairpin. That is a huge lead to have at the end of the first sector.
Lyra does seem to be holding on traffic.
Yeah, Lyra does seem to be struggling in these very wet conditions, which is a surprise, but she went very well in the qualifying session. Here's Stephen's start. He just gets better traction off the grid, and by the time they reach turn one, he's already well ahead, and even his teammate is already trying to make a move on Lyra as well.
Yeah, and Alex right behind. Of course, also getting past the teammate, Daniel to his right.
It's a very good start from both thinking and riders. Here's Jess into turn one. Jess overtaking Keir in the second Motor's car. With 1 position gain.
Looks pretty stand up and go.
No crashes into turn one, surprisingly. They saw
I'm sure we'll see more of them as we go on.
So
we're all getting very close and bumping Michael there. And he gets through.
interesting. I don't think either of them took any damage, but we'll see how that happened. So it seems that Jess was hit from behind into Will, who in turn hit Michael, who in
So
turn
yes,
was forced into
Eva
wide.
set off the entire chain there. And of course Mirabeau, a very hard braking zone, so if someone fails to slow down enough, then...
And there's Alex going to move on Lyra through the tunnel. And Alex
is just lacking pace there, but Alex is injured? No, that's just coming
Lyra
out.
tries to come back, but
Oh.
Alex already well ahead into the pace. I think again now 1-2.
Daniel challenging Lyra here.
Lyra just seems to have no pace at this point. Very much struggling in these conditions. We'll see if Daniel can get past him. The final sequence of corners, Daniel goes for a move and he takes third place.
Yes. Right through Vasquez, like we saw many times in football cutting. You will often see a lot of people just cutting people off there.
It seems to be because the speeds are so slow that despite the collisions that happen, it's very rare that any actual meaningful damage is taken. Maybe a question is Josh overtaking Lyra? Is Lyra being overtaken by George and Will now? Lyra's just losing tons of position.
That's the question. Driving, actually.
Yeah, like, she took pole position in similar conditions, so it's very confusing as to why she's lacking so much pace right now. Just everyone pushing her out of the way as they go through the Mirabeau and into the hairpin.
Michael looking to have a go. Alex challenging Stephen for the lead. And
just
just
taking
drives
it.
on the inside.
Wow, that's a great overtake from Alex. Well, Stephen tries to come back at him into the chicane and
and
he hits
teammates
him.
hit! Stephen's spinning out Alex. Daniel gets through.
Can Alex get going again? Alex is going to be furious with his teammate for that.
Much like we saw with Callum many times in Series
Oh,
4
and
and
there's-
ahead of them.
It's one of the Cheetah Racing cars and I think one of the Vanox cars spinning off into the chicane as well.
Yeah.
Very difficult conditions here, so no one quite knows where to brake.
This is an issue we saw many times with people like Callum in Series 4 when having to wait for the entire pack to go through.
And it's Chris in the Cheetah Racing car that has gone off. Alex now.
And Lewis went with him. So here we see Chris just trying,
He just locks up.
locks up and takes out himself.
And Nathan keeps going, importantly.
Okay.
Doesn't really lose many positions from that. In fact, he might have even gained a position in that.
I think all he overtook was the stricken Alex.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Alex has gone from being contending from the lead to being right at the back of the field. And here's Lyra losing another place to Michael.
2 places.
And to Jess. So in 1.5 laps, Lyra has gone from starting from pole position down to 10th place. So he'll go past Alex. Here's Eva trying to overtake Lyra.
So you see Lyra, the only one to have actually lost places out of the top 12.
incredible, really. Like, you have to question whether there's something wrong with Lyra's car.
Now Stephen overtakes 2 seconds ahead of Daniel in the lead.
He does seem to be pulling out a bit of a gap at this point. So we'll see whether he can continue to extend that lead. And here comes Josh on Anthony into the chicane.
Great move there.
First clean overtake we've seen so far.
Apart from the ones on Lyra in the tunnel.
Right.
And Ema cutting off Lyra again.
Oof.
Lyra does like that wall.
Lyra now down to 11th place. A very aggressive move there, but to be fair, Lyra has been lapping with 8 seconds off the pace at this point, so you can't blame Ema for being a bit impatient. And Daniel has closed the gap back up to Steven.
Now
It's
only
now
a second.
We'll see
Josh
whether,
quite close behind.
so we'll see whether either of them can challenge Steven to the lead.
So then being challenged by Josh
And
into Rascal.
has to go, but
They get through cleanly for once.
Daniel retains second place. Here comes Michael trying to battle with Will, the 2 championship rivals of last season. Oh, here's Tim. He's lost his whole front nose. What's happened there?
He seems to be trying to stop.
Interesting. We'll have to see a replay to see how
That
he managed to
seems
get that much
to
damage.
be
And Kale's got damaged as well, so has Kale been
Oh,
involved in
he
yet another
flipped.
incident?
So
What's
Tim
this?
driving through,
So Kale loses it at the chicane.
comes back on. Tim goes for the overtake.
Into to back, it's a very risky place to overtake.
Seems to make it, and just gets flipped.
Tim just seemed to run a little wide there.
And then gets taken out by Kale, I believe.
Yeah. So Kale involved in yet another incident. Of course, last season he took out Will, who was
And
the
Lewis
championship
is out.
leader, and Lewis is out. I think that seems to be.
Right behind it as well.
I wonder what that was from.
Suspension failure.
Ah, so completely unrelated.
Yeah, just happened to be behind him. He's got a great area of view.
So Stephen has started to extend his lead again over Daniel.
I feel that may be a symptom of Daniel's job.
Very possible. There's a lot of time when you're defending around here, especially in these conditions, and that's one of the red Leicester cars on the game. And Matty trying to overtake Nathan, handling with Kieran behind. Kieran trying to get back in the swimming pool section, which is never going to work.
So that was Stewart. Oh, he just failed to make move on the inside of the Josh game.
It's worth a try, I guess.
Basically on the track.
Oh, and there's who's that behind? Is that Chris again? What's going on?
I'm sure.
I think so, because Anthony's still running in the other cheetah racing. So Stewart just seems to turn in too early and hit the inside wall and bounce off it.
I
Very-
think he got squeezed in. And yes, it was Chris.
Like, once again, Chris spinning off at the chicane. It's like, he's done that once already. And Alex,
Oh yes,
Alex,
finally getting out
covering from the back. He's still up to 17.
Josh making move on Daniel here.
We'll
Going
see.
into Raskas.
Very close. Daniel seems to be holding a bit of a lane behind him at this point.
There is still a good 2 seconds lead for Josh now.
So, and Josh makes the overtake on Daniel.
In Raskas. Now, interesting to see how Daniel copes with the rest of the pack behind him.
And it will also be interesting to see if Josh can now close up on Steven. And here's Stewart going into the wall.
Just lost it round to back.
That ends a very disappointing race for the Red Leicester team. It's the first time they've qualified for a Formula I race and ended with both cars out on lap 7.
Now, Stephen with a 3 to 4 second lead.
Here comes Will. He runs into the back of George and pushes them off at the chicane, but in turn is forced to go over it and lose a few positions. So,
And George maintains his position on the point of just here, but
so it's definitely Will that's lost out there, and that's Keir in the wall. So this has gone terribly for Succulent Motors.
yeah, Ema almost running into.
That wheel was just there, bouncing along.
Yeah.
You can see that Keir just seemed to lock up on the second phase, or
Yeah, just
something.
coming out of Nouvelle Chicane.
Ema very narrowly missing that wheel there. Here comes Lyra.
Oh, well avoided. And Lyra's back up into 10th.
And here comes Anthony overtaking Daniel.
Yeah, the both blades seem to be lacking some race pace here.
I think that car lacks a bit of downforce, which you need around
Yeah.
this
Josh
circuit.
coming up, Josh challenging Stephen for the lead here.
Premiere car that Josh is driving was the one that won the championship. This is the team that won the championships last season. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue at the best start. And they've got all kinds of cars going off. We've got one of the Jets. We've got Hero in the Google car. So more accidents continuing to happen into the chicane. Alex makes an overtake on Greg through the tunnel. Greg comes back at him into the chicane. Can Greg get it stopped? He can.
And ahead of him, Kirad seems to have hit.
It's the Jeff car of Charlie, and that forces Charlie to cut the chicane. Charlie didn't move right now. The heroes actually helped Alex to make that overtake on Greg at the end.
However, Alex does need to get back on.
He does. He'll be very angry with his teammate, of course, pitting him off on lap 2. So, nothing else needs to recover a good result.
Yes, these two leaders now have a 5-second advantage over Anthony in the trailing cab.
And we'll see whether Josh can make a move into the chicane. We've seen lots of unsuccessful moves here. And Josh goes for one. He cuts across it. Bounces off the wall. And Josh is now on the outside for back, so and he has already made the position for one. So good overtake from Josh
Conceding.
to now take the lead of the race. Here comes George.
On the inside of Daniel. Ooh, just locks up.
Completely out of control well before he even reached the corner.
2 places then. Michael Jets. Had very good races.
Yeah. Here's Will running wide. Running very wide. Yeah. Yeah, able to reverse out of there too. Which is fine, but not a lot of time there. Lyra being very disappointing. It's from pole position.
Oh,
she's
Matty
now well
tried
adrift.
to overtake Lyra. And didn't make the position. However, has a chance to get this back, maybe?
And Lyra is now very far off the field. The front runners. And be very disappointed considering
So this is Michael
the following
trying to
result.
challenging Daniel. And Michael slows down Jess.
Interesting. So here's Will trying to recover after making that mistake.
Trying
He's
to go
behind
past Ema.
We'll see whether he can. Lyra is continuing to battle with Matty, and Lyra's gone off and lost a wheel.
It was never a good race for Lyra.
No. And Charlie seems to just run into the wheel and bounce it down the track.
Yeah, so coming out of the Nouvelle Chicane seems to be. Or is that out of Tabac?
It's out of the swimming pool section. It's the same mistake that
turn
Keir
15.
made. Yeah.
Oh, that's an unsafe release from Greg.
Ooh. The stewards will be having a look at that one.
Chris angrily driving into his pit box there.
He will not be
Now
happy
Daniel
about trying to
defending
stop there.
Michael again.
Michael runs into the back of him. Will they be able to keep it together?
Seems so, but Michael has lost places again. And is forced to wait here.
So Michael just locking up as so many people do on the
One out of the tunnel.
right.
And then
Daniel.
Daniel gets overtaken by Jess. Meanwhile, George is in the wall behind them.
So both Michael and Daniel lost out in that overtaking maneuver.
Yeah, George just seemed to
Tempted.
try and take things back to the chicane.
It's very easy if you just take slightly too much speed to run wide and just run at that road.
Do get that for the street circuit here.
There's very little room for error in these conditions.
Now, all of the leaders pitting apart from Stephen.
Very interesting.
Stephen and Ema.
So are they making a change of tyre compound, perhaps?
It's still raining.
It is, but they have different compounds depending on the amount of rain that
I think
Is-
they'll all be staying on the full wets here.
I expect that seems like the best course of action. Interesting to decided to put on the same lap.
So Stephen and Michael are in one pack.
I mean, we'll have to look at the pace of the people that have pitted and see whether they're going significantly faster than the people that haven't. It's Ema coming out of the pits, and Will just about gets past. So Will was behind Ema before that set of pit stops. And here's Alex trying to overtake Nathan.
And does.
And Nathan...
And Nathan spins out into the wall. Should be able to continue going, however.
Yeah, he has lost his front wing. So that might
Kieran
take a
just runs into the wall. That's pretty clever, Nathan.
Nathan seems to have just been stopped there. We have to question why Nathan didn't just drive around and keep going. Was Nathan trying to get to the pit lane? Waiting for Rocky to do that?
It does seem like he's turning that way.
Because he's lost his front wing, so it's possible he wants to just turn and go back a bit so he can go into the pit lane. Quite a difficult manoeuvre to make when there's lots of cars coming at you.
Yeah.
Here's Michael, who's back in third place after having not been yet.
Anthony challenging him.
And
And Anthony going up the inside.
And it seems that Michael and those old tyres is definitely struggling for a grip a lot more than the cars around him.
Even Jess is also making a move there.
So
And Michael does indeed pit.
he's seen how much faster the cars on
However,
fresh tyres are
Stephen
going.
is maintaining the lead. Nathan is still sitting.
Questionable one. I wonder why he doesn't just go around and come back into the pits again.
I think he's almost facing backwards now. So Michael coming out behind George with 20 seconds of clear air ahead of him.
That hasn't worked out for Michael staying out on those old tyres much longer. Only difference in that one, but see the difference it makes.
Nathan still failing to get into the pits.
I can't say I quite understand what's going on with Nathan right now. Do you have any explanations?
Maybe he hit the ball a bit too hard.
Here is a battle for 15. KO and 10. And Josh is trying to lap them. Okay, never mind. Ignore me.
Overtakes Daniel into Vasquez, using the same tactic that Daniel has fallen prey to many times so far.
Daniel does definitely seem to lack grip into there, and it just leaves space for...
Matty having a 0-second pit stop there.
Interesting. Here's Anthony and Jess.
Oh yes, Jess. Jess having to wait for Will to go past. Will have to wait for Daniel.
How long will Jess
Daniel
wait
and
there?
Eva go past, as does George and T-Man.
Jess has lost that
Michael
heavily
in the
there.
F1, yeah? There's a lot of space behind Michael, so... I should go straight.
Jess has lost that heavily there. And here we have the battle for the lead is back. Stephen is yet to hit, and Josh on the fresh tyre is already caught back up to him.
You may consider whether it would even be advantageous for Stephen to let him go through and then try and get the clearer run through so he doesn't lose time defending.
It would make sense. You've seen like how risky it is the defender here as well.
He's got to be coming in this lap. Matty in the Jeff.
And Nathan's still stuck there.
Nathan now being lapped by people 4 spots behind him.
Nathan has been there for a few laps.
Nathan is now 6
Oh, and here's
minutes
the two
behind.
leaders. Josh and Stephen.
And
They
Stephen
collide
losing
each
the
other.
ball.
So indeed, it does seem like it was a mistake for Stephen to not have let Josh go.
However, Stephen reversing straight into the middle of the track
And is hit by one of the
Lap
Morphos.
markers.
10. Stephen does get going again in second place, but he
Here
hasn't.
we go again. Josh just... So Stephen seems to brake earlier and Josh does not understand.
Stephen has much older tyres, so of course he has to brake earlier, and Josh just seems to have not managed to consider this.
Yes, and Stephen is into the pit lane.
He may well drop a lot of positions now, because behind all the
only
people that
Anthony
have...
and Will were that close. Maybe Ema, George and Michael.
But Stephen was in second place before the pit stop phase.
So, thinking again, Stephen making a strategic decision there. And he is overtaking Anthony in the pit lane.
That's
One
George
way to
and
George.
Michael battling each other as well. We also have... And Stephen does actually make it past Michael coming up the hill. So
Very fresh tyres he has.
those new tyres.
So
clearly
will overtaking
showing their
Anthony for
advantage.
second.
Good overtake from Will. He's still recovering after running wide into the final corner.
Yes, does need to make 20 seconds up on Josh.
And Josh does seem like Josh has to just control this race from the front now. And it's Steven!
Steven into the chicane.
Get more incidents. Steven.
Overtaken by Michael, Daniel, and Jess.
Is he going to be able to get out of there safely? He gets
Yes.
him into first gear and he gets moving again, but he's lost so many positions. This race going from bad to worse for the Think Again team. From
So he just takes too much speed into the corner.
and he loses it into turn 1. Kale once again spinning off. He's involved in that accident with Tim early on.
He's now Anthony and Ema here.
Anthony seems to be been overtaken by just about everyone at the front, but somehow he's still holding on to 4th place, and Emo making a great overtake here.
Well, he was trying to hold on to
No.
3rd.
And here's Nathan across the front wing. What's happened there? Oh, of course, he's still been sat there at the main entrance like the last few laps. He gets
Oh,
pushed
he got
by Matty.
Hit by Matty, and he finally gets going.
He's been stuck there for like 5 or 6 laps now, so...
It'd be interesting.
And that's Josh. Josh is slowing down. The race leader.
And
It seems like some kind of technical problem.
that Raskas that he stopped
I
at?
think so.
Right in the middle of the track as well.
Very questionable decision. And he's been hit by one of the...
Kieran. Of course, if he managed to get into the pit lane, he could have saved himself, but...
Indeed. He was just 2 corners away from the pit lane, so... Perhaps he
Not
thought
much
that it
room
could...
there for Kieran, to be fair.
I wouldn't blame that on him. Definitely Kieran doesn't take damage. And so
Nathan
Josh...
finally into the pit lane. So Josh had a brake failure.
So Josh from the lead is now out of the race, and that gives the lead to Will in the Succulent Motors car. This is Ema running off at the chicane, and
Ema and
Anthony
Anthony
following.
Anthony taking the position inside whilst Ema has to wait.
But Anthony hits the wall on the outside.
George gets him going again.
So Anthony will retain 3rd place, it seems, despite spinning off.
Michael is the big winner here.
Indeed,
Michael
Michael lands
possibly
the 4th place.
challenging for 2nd place. Yes, they both just took too much speed.
It's very easy when someone in front of you goes off and brakes too late, just to follow them and use them as your braking. So I think that's what happened there. I've seen that a few times.
And he's gonna get going before Steven catches up on Wonders.
And
Kale
Kale
hits Ema and
I don't think that's helped Ema much. Ema's now facing the wrong way. He's been hit by Alex now.
Alex going for the overtake.
I don't know if you can call this an overtake, but
Well,
he made it.
overtaken.
And that's up to P9 for Alex.
And Charlie overtakes Ema into P10. Nathan finally out of the pit lane.
For a 14-second stop to change that front wing, he's free to go again. Fortunately, he's about 5 or 6 laps down. Here's Michael making an overtake on Anthony.
And through Raskas. Packed up very bunched up from 2nd onwards.
Will with a 17-second lead ahead of them. So here's Anthony defending against George. George was stuck on the inside.
Daniel goes straight through the
I think
chicane
that was probably a sensible decision considering what was going on actually in the chicane.
and makes up 2 places, I think. So Jess hits Daniel
I don't think.
and then gets
that's-
caught up on George.
I don't think Daniel will complain too much about that.
No. And then Jess...
Does she get going again, or is she?
No, she is forced to wait, but it's only back motors.
It's gone from some practice motors have gone from challenging towards the front to now being right down towards the lower end of the point from 9 to 10.
Yeah. And that's Charlie and Alex going through there. Alex back up into the points.
And Charlie in the Jeff car running in 7th place. They've never scored a point before.
Chris Rowe is ready to break through.
Chris does get going again. I've seen Chris like have a flyback for that game. Will,
He's getting to know it well.
so Will leads the race by 10 seconds ahead of Michael.
Michael is closing the gap seriously there.
He is, it
And
was
Chris
17.
appears to be out.
It seems so. Or has he just...
Either out or just waiting.
It's very... I think
No,
that
he's
does
out.
look like a technical problem. To be fair, after the amount that he's bashed that car around,
Suspension failure.
I think that was inevitable, wasn't it?
Yes. So now Alex back on the 8th place after being hit out by his teammate in the first couple of laps.
Only 2 places behind said teammate as well. If they come back together on the track, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. So here he is trying to lap Kale. Kale is notoriously dangerous out there. Kale does hit Alex, despite having...
And Ema looking to go around the outside for position there.
does not make it, but Alex losing a lot of time there. Here's Stephen and George battling for 5th position. Stephen having to go wide, sensibly.
And there's the stricken car.
It's hard to say sensibly doesn't hit anyone, but Anthony...
Oh,
look
so
at Anthony's
Anthony
doing. And
was
Anthony's...
position. So Daniel is up to 3rd.
We'll have to see a replay of what happened to Anthony there. Just simply losing it under braking like so many have before. The issue is if you brake too early, then the car behind you will be surprised that they'll run into you. They'll run into you
Also, if
because-
you brake too early, you don't have the momentum to go around. Daniel making an early 2nd pit stop here.
Very
However,
interesting.
coming back out in 5th.
Be an interesting decision. See if it pays off. He's currently got a bit of a gap back to Charlie behind, so should be able to do some good laps in the clear areas in front of him. Here's Charlie overtaking, I think that's Steven,
It is.
and runs into the lapped car in front of him, but still makes the position. Charlie driving a great race to jet speed.
Daniel has 8 seconds of clear air in front of him, 3 behind him, so should get some good use out of those new tyres. Now Ema trying to lap Kale, who the stewards have to be looking into giving him a demerit point at some point.
We would have thought so. In the last race we did, the last race of last season, Kale took out Will, who was the championship leader, and caused him to lose the championship. So, gotta be considering how many accidents Kale causes every race. He's got to be looking at a race ban at this point. So here's Ema. So everyone
And
after
Will pitting from the lead.
I guess
Michael likely to go through here.
after seeing Daniel's pace on the new tyres, everyone deciding that now is the right time to
And
make the
Michael
second pit
does
stop.
go through.
Interesting. So Michael is of course yet to make a second pit stop, so Will still has the net lead. It's interesting to see what the difference in their pace
And
is.
Daniel goes
And
into the wall and is out.
he was driving such a good race at that point. We've seen that mistake from quite a few other drivers. So.
Notably Lyra was one earlier.
And Keir as well in the other Will's teammate, so quite a few of the top riders running out of that corner in this race. Here's Nathan, he's still running in this race, and here Will second place, of course, has made an extra pit stop compared to Nathan. Currently get 5 seconds. We'll see if Will can close up, and he does seem to be doing so. Michael, of course, still has to make one more pit stop, otherwise he will be given a penalty. And Will loses it into the chicane.
That's incredibly important for the overcome here.
Yes. So,
With everyone back to Jess is the next one that has
if Will drops more than 20 seconds behind Will, then Will will be in danger of losing the lead even after
And of course in the wet it's a shorter delta.
Yes, because they're going that much slower when they're actually on the track. So the gap now is 17.8 seconds. So Michael is
George pitting from 3rd.
Michael very close to having a pit window over Will now. George indeed pitting from 3rd. This is about the time we would expect to see most drivers considering coming in for their trial. George losing out to Stephen, and he stays ahead of Charlie. I'm not sure if Stephen's made his pit stop yet. I don't think Charlie has. So George is still in a good position to score some solid points here. Here's Greg battling Matty. And Greg
And
runs
they
into the back of
both
it.
just go through.
And Greg has gained the position, I guess. I'm not sure I'd call that a fair
Oh
overtake,
yes, he
but
does just hit Matty off.
I guess it worked. The stewards will have to be looking at that as well, but
Of
they've
course,
got to
no
consider
escape road here in Formula I.
they've got to consider that how difficult it is for them to drive in these conditions, and that Greg probably wasn't intending to do that, but more he just like misjudged Matty's braking point. So here is
Stephen and Anthony both pitching together.
that will move George back up into first place. Charlie of the top 7 is the only one now, and Michael of course. Still yet to start.
Charlie makes a stop. Or he gets up.
Here we have Ema trying to lap one of the Vanoxes. Vanox, that car giving her a very hard time winning a lap.
Daniel's still yet to be overtaken by Nathan.
Crashed out quite a few
And
laps
in
ago.
race.
I don't think Nathan's going to be classified in this race. You have to complete 90% of the race distance. And here is Nathan. Goes off at the chicane. Comes out still ahead of Ema.
Nathan about to be one.
So here's Nathan. He gets overtaken, of course, being lapped by Ema, and then just decides to send one down the inside into the chicane.
I think
No
he
chance
lost it
of
under
hitting
braking.
It's possible.
Because
If so,
that did look like a lock-up.
he did do a good job not to hit Ema then. I mean, considering all the other accidents we've seen into there, that's by
Yes,
far
but
from
of
the
course
worst.
that chicane is there for you to slow down. Charlie making a stop. Which leaves
Yeah.
only Michael out of the top 7 not to have pitted.
Let's see whether Charlie can stay ahead of Alex.
He is ahead. It said there. Oh no, now he's only 20 seconds. The
So-
graphic there being a bit confused.
Yes. So Alex is now ahead of Charlie, and they have both made both of their pit stops. We're still waiting for Mike to make this. Here's Greg and Tim colliding. Tim was a lap down, so we'll have to have another look at that one to see whether Tim should have got out of the way. And there's Michael being held up by this.
That is not going to be good for his pit stop strategy.
No.
At the end of this
Will
lap,
also gets caught up in it.
See, Will comes through now. He has to stop.
Will is being held up by it even more.
He's losing a ton of time here. Why doesn't Will keep going? He seems to have just stopped to look at the accident. And he does eventually get going, but he lost a huge amount more time than Michael there.
That could even mean George catching up there.
It could. We will see.
And Jess has a transmission failure.
Cactus Motors' terrible race continues. Now we have Ema as the only one running. In 8th place. Michael comes into the pits. He has a 17-second gap to Will, so
This is going to be tight.
will this be enough that Michael can pit and come out still in the lead of this race? See how quick this pit stop is. 4.9 seconds. That's fairly good. Is it enough?
Seemed to slip out.
And Will has taken the lead. So Michael not quite enough from Michael. But Michael will now have fresher tyres. So we'll see whether Michael can close up on Will.
And we'll also see whether Tim holds up.
Lap cars are playing a...
Perhaps
Tim.
it's the wrong person.
Tim having to get his front wing changed after that incident with Greg. So here we have Stephen coming up to try and pass Anthony, who still is running in 4th place. in this
Of
race.
course, Alex now the spot behind Stephen.
So that's going to be very interesting if Alex can close up on Stephen.
However, Stephen challenging Anthony.
So think again after all of their incidents this race, they're still running in 5th and 6th. That's a solid points result for them. But of course, after leading 1-2 after the first lap, they would have definitely wanted more than this.
Now, Will and Michael have a 20-second advantage over George, who has 10 seconds clear air either side of him.
Yes,
So, barring a mechanical failure, that is likely his only position.
yes. So Michael tries to go for a move into the Rascas, doesn't quite work well.
Like he did on Daniel so many times this race.
We will see now whether Michael's fresher tyres are enough to make it possible for him to overtake around this track. Looks like the motor car lap this season has a massive power advantage over everyone. I think they've gone for more of a conservative car this season.
And through the
So,
tunnel here we
very
go.
difficult to overtake.
Could see an overtake into the chicane. And he
see?
hits him.
And
Michael
they
makes
spun off.
contact, but Michael spins off.
And Will keeps going. And it will get going again.
Michael does have 30 seconds over George. However, if he's just decided to do donuts, that may not be enough.
It's a very questionable decision. Has he not got any traction on the surface? Or has he got some kind of technical problem that's not letting him move? We'll see.
And George coming through now for second.
Michael has lost out heavily in that.
He's now
attempt
facing
to
back
overtake.
towards the top.
And you'll be able to see all of the cars that are coming past him. And
Here come Anthony and Stephen.
so Michael just losing so many places at this point.
Tim unlapping himself there. And Tim is holding up Alex, as it looks like. Michael now having to wait for Charlie.
Of course, Charlie driving for
Charlie
Jeff,
and
which is
Eva.
the sister
Michael
team.
back now down to 8th where he started. And Michael has done another spin.
Is there something wrong with that car? He's about to get it going again, it seems, but he's lost so much time. What was Michael doing?
He lost over a minute there.
So this was a replay of the overtake attempt. I'm not sure.
There was no space to try that.
Will just moved to defend the position, and Michael had already committed to it, it seemed.
Nothing wrong from Will there.
I agree. Like, Michael should have got out of that one earlier. Now, he's paid the price and he's lost.
The think against now, right up against each other. Will Alex try and take revenge for the early hit? This later place. And will they also actually be able to hold his position against them?
I think again, management will be very nervous watching this.
Will there be team orders, do you think?
I can't imagine they would listen after what's already happened in this race.
Will lead the section 30 seconds clear of George, who's 20 seconds clear of this man.
After all of the accidents Will had, he's not even ninth place. He's not facing into the wall at Rascas.
I mean, Charlie
spun
up
off at the chicane.
Charlie up to 6th and 17th here.
Yeah, but like both of them have driven incredible races. They've been involved in the chaos. They've just
Okay,
managed
Will
to,
could better just stay behind Kale here for his own safety.
especially after what happened in the last race of last season. Of course, the
Does seem to be
championship
going
deciding
to-
collision can afford with 2 laps to go just to hang back. He has a 30-second gap back to George. He doesn't need to try anything.
Does look to be lapping Charlie again.
And
Not
Will
Charlie, Kale.
does seem to be going to be okay.
Kale just let him through, as he should.
But I think Kale's done all the race, I think.
Kale is up into 12th and 19th. Although that is due to the failures we've had.
I think that's 12 that have about 13 or 14 cars still running, isn't it?
Well, we'll
We
find
haven't
Nathan.
seen. I mean, Nathan's behind half of the cars that aren't running, so...
Now, Alex looking at going through on Stephen, right a couple of laps there.
The last lap of the race will come through the final few corners. And it does look like he's going to win the first race of season 5. Looking to get off this new season to a good start
And
losing
through he goes.
last season, and he is taking the race.
George spins out of the chicane on the final lap.
He was running in second place, doesn't seem to have got it
Did
going.
have 10 seconds over Anthony.
Where is Anthony now is the question.
10 seconds behind.
So just yet another mistake into the chicane. But it does seem like George has got away with this one without losing any position. And he
It's a
has,
very good opening race for Tiamat here.
it is. Very good opening race for Anthony, of course, as well. It's his first ever Formula Rai race, and he's about to finish it if he can stay ahead of Stephen
Oh, the
on the podium.
Greg in the Vanox car. Holding chaos here.
He's holding up Alex, which is stopping Alex from challenging Stephen.
And
but
Charlie possibly challenging.
he's a bit too far back, I think. And, there's not enough of a straight there around going into the start of the
Matty finishes 9th, so we've got both of the Jeff cars scoring points here.
The